Okay, question number 7. They're talking about a pedigree and they're showing the inheritance of straight hair in 4 generations. So the ones that are colored in have straight hair. So identify the mode of inheritance like we've been doing for straight hair and provide 2 pieces of evidence to support your answer. So in this case, I can see that we are actually skipping generations. So nobody in generation 1 has straight hair. Nobody in generation 3 has straight hair. So because it's skipping generations, that leads us to believe that this must be recessive. Now, is it autosomal? Is it sex-linked? If it's autosomal, it says relatively equal boys and girls. Okay? Now, if I take a look at this, now they're not always perfect. The evidence isn't always going to line up on the pedigree, but if I take a look at this, I think, holy cow, look at how many females have straight hair compared to boys. Now that might lead me, if you remember the pieces of evidence, when it's overwhelmingly females, that suggests that it's sex-linked dominant. We already said this is recessive though because it skips some generations. But let's just play this scenario out. If we thought it was sex-linked dominant, remember that one piece of evidence I say is your go-to evidence. All affected boys, now we only have one of them here, must have affected mums. That's not the case here. And must all have affected daughters. One is affected, but the other one isn't. So just because of that alone, that tells me that this cannot be sex-linked dom. We already know it's skipping generations, so it's recessive. So that means it is. Now, if you thought maybe it was sex-linked recessive, sex-linked recessive has to be overwhelmingly boys. Well, that's certainly not the case here, right? We have very few boys that have that. So because of that, that tells me it is autosomal recessive. So again, really take a look at that flow chart, memorize those pieces of evidence and that, because that will help you navigate through these type of questions to come up with the right answer. So again, recessive, why? Because it's skipping generations. And in this case, autosomal, just because of a matter of deductions. I can't really say it's relatively equal, but what I would say is that it can't be sex-linked dom for the reasons I've already just determined here, because that affected male doesn't have an affected mum, doesn't have all affected daughters. Therefore, from a matter of deduction, it must be autosomal. It cannot be sex-linked. Any issues? Give me an email. Thanks, guys.